All right. Let's go check out the garden, shall we? Well, this is not the garden. Look, there's a lizard right there. All right. This is the backyard garden. This is my guard dog that can't hear a word I'm saying. All right, so if you've been following, this is the compost pile that I made from when I cut down cut down parts of this tree. I trimmed it up. It was over the roof. Somebody was going to charge me $2,500. It was cheaper at first. It was like a reasonable price at first, but then when the man came out and took a look at me, all of a sudden went up $1,000 to $2,000, $2,500. Anyways, I told him where he can go and where he can shove that price. And then I went and had my buddy come out here, and he blessed me, man, and trimmed all this stuff back just in time for the storm, because I don't think that tree would have survived. But trimmed it up, chopped up all the wood instead of hauling it off and throwing it away. I stripped all the leaves off the branches, put it in that compost pile right there, and it's been sitting there breaking down. You know, it's really good. It's good soil underneath those leaves. I keep raking the leaves over top of it and putting some blood meal in there, watering it in there. This wood here I used to cook our food. That's oak, and that's a piece of cherry I got from my buddy, Mr. Butler out here. Gave me some cherry wood. I hadn't forgot about cooking that bird for you, Mr. Butler. I got you. Just been a little busy back here. So this is our area back here, and that's our wood that we use to burn to make pot ash, or wood ash, if you will. And I use that to spread over my lawn back here, of course, as you can see. I would have been doing that today, but the weather and the wind will not allow it. Plus, we're in a no burn factor right now. Security cameras, gotta have them. I don't want anybody messing with my food back here. And this is our raised garden bed. This particular bed, depending on how this stuff turns out, because it's got a different flavor than the rest of these other two beds. So this bed right here was the last bed we built. It was the last bit of, it had the last bit of soil. So I kind of mixed in a lot more organic stuff in there, like a lot more of those leaves in there. And I put some, so I bought some Kellogg's, that Kellogg's potting soil for the raised bed. It comes in that blue and white striped bag. I put that in this bed right here as filler material. And it works pretty good in a raised garden bed. That Kellogg's does not work good in a potting, like for potted plants, but it works good for the raised bed or even in the soil. So we got some onions growing right here. I have, I don't know if you guys remember the tomato plant that I had last year, the cherry bean tomatoes that, survived the storm. So we went and got another one, and this time I planted that sucker directly into the dirt. I didn't even mess around by putting it in a pot. We have Greek oregano. This is our new purple coneflower, or this is the purple coneflower that we bought at the beginning of the year. And it's doing the same thing as the old one that was over here, which came back. This thing came back. So now we have two purple coneflowers, which is good for echinacea tea and all those echinacea type things that you can use it for. This is our basil that is already starting to bolt, and I'm going to let it bolt because I want the seeds off of these. So a lot of the plants I buy that are heirloom, I keep them because I like to have the seeds to plant for the next season. These are our collard greens. Let me go over to the front because as you can see, if you look at this bed, you can see that because of the shade of this tree right here and the way that the sun goes up over, it causes shade. So the plants are having to reach this way. They're reaching out this way. So that was the back half. So this is the front of everything. So you can see how it's all reaching out towards the sun. And I kind of like it this way because when it gets to the summer months, when it gets around, 100 and something in the sun, it'll be like, 95 in the shade or something. And then you have that breeze that comes up, or you have a breeze all year round back here. So these are collard greens that we've been eating off of. They're different types of collards. Okay, so these are just we did a lot of Bonnie plants because Bonnie plants got some really good plants. And this is just the Bonnie basic collards right here. I believe these are Brussels sprouts that aren't really, they're probably not going to grow because it's starting to get really hot. But these are the collard greens that I like. These are the Morris Heading heirloom collard greens. They head the heads, it'll head up like a ball of lettuce. Of course, we don't let it get that far because we've been eating the mess out of these things. But I'm going to let that bolt, we're going to keep eating off of these until they seed, and then I'm going to take the seeds and plant some more. This is our Cherokee purple tomatoes, and one right there. They broke off. I planted them in the box here. They seem to be doing good. Now, right here we have our mammoth jalapenos. See, mammoth jalapenos, and I'm excited about these because I love real jalapenos. I don't know what we're getting in the stores now because they have no heat at all. So we started doing that, and now we're doing the hot banana peppers. They're hybrids. And then we have the Sweet Million tomatoes, which I'm excited about these because they grow, 3 to 6 feet. The vine grows 3 to 6 feet. And then I'll have tomatoes, And this is my celery, which is, I don't know if you've ever seen a 20-inch stalk of celery, but that celery is over a foot. It's over 1.5 feet high. And it smells really good. I'll be cutting that soon. Actually, I've been cutting it cutting it a little bit at a time and eating it because I can't wait. So I've just been eating this. And these are lavenders, and I can't remember what kind of flower these are, but they're coming back. This is the broccoli plants, and they're doing exactly what I want them to do. They're going to bloom. They're going to, grow some little leaves there, and all the worms, like the cutworms and insects for the less, they eat the mess out of this. But I've noticed that if I keep those there, they're staying off of all of my crops in here. We still have kale. We got some 2 watermelon plants that I planted down there. Those are heirloom. Of course, we still got those mustard greens. I'm shocked those things are still growing. I'm just letting them grow just because they just survived everything. And this right here, this is starting to bolt and seed, which I'm excited about that because then I can start planting some more at the end of summer, and then we'll have something over winter. This is our bush bean plant, which is a heirloom Blue Lake bush bean plant. This is the seed from the original plant that we got last year, and I planted them this year, and they grew. And Nikki's little Ichiban, it's an Ichiban eggplant. And then these here, this is carrots. We pulled one out the other day. I took a picture of it and showed you that was the smallest of the carrots. So we have some huge ones in here, and you can feel them in the suckers are huge. This is beets. I don't know what's going on. I don't know too much about beets, but it's starting to take off all of a sudden, I guess. It's been in there for a year. All of this stuff has been in this ground, like this collards, the carrots, those beets, the kale, the That used to be where the pumpkin plant was, but it ended up dying just before Christmas. It didn't even get a chance to make pumpkins, and that came out where the pumpkin came out there. This is a turnip that's been in the ground for almost a year. It's just growing away. So all this stuff's been in there. All these new plants, the squashes and stuff, they're new. Oh, and this is my watering system. So I had this thing here. I bought this barrel, and we had it hooked up to where I was watering my plants, but it wasn't getting all the water out. It was like I had 50 gallons of water in there. So then I ended up laying it on the side, built the platform, inclined it a little bit to put some little blocks there so it doesn't roll off the thing. I strapped on a funnel up here, put it to the top, boom, boom, boom. And then on the bottom there, boom, boom, boom. It comes out through here. I can turn this on, and then it goes through this line here under the bottom. It comes out, boom, and everything goes out through there. There's no pump on it. It's all gravity fed. I put fish emulsion in this. And here, I poured it into the water, stirred it around a little bit, and then I'll water the plants. I'm not going to water them here for probably another couple of 2 or 3 days because the ground actually is pretty moist. And as you can see on the squash plants, the humidity is doing its thing on these plants. These things does not like a lot of humidity, but it's starting to get, the white mold, the powder mildew. It's because it's too humid out here. This is our onion chives. I'm letting these girls go right on ahead and flower just because I like the way the flowers look. They're good. I just like the flowers. They're pretty. This is our spearmint that I've been cutting up. I've been making spearmint tea. I haven't cut the peppermint yet to make peppermint tea. I want it to get a little bigger before I do that. Trying something with some lemongrass. It was dead, so I decided to plant it. And you guys know how I do. I'll come out here and talk to something that's dead just to see if it'll come back. And it looks like it's coming back. It's got some new sprouts in there, so I started talking to that. This here was a bush bean that was dead. You can see where it's coming back. Everything's coming back. This here was an experiment. So this little thing right here comes from this plant right here. The two differences is not because I planted it. It's all got the same soil. It's just that this one I spoke over it. This one I didn't. Same thing with these plants. I didn't speak over these plants here. I just let them grow. Even this tomato plant, I just let it grow. So everything on this table, on this first shelf, I didn't talk to. And when I say talk to, you can come outside if you are a gardener or any field of work that you're in, and you can speak to the ground or even to the field of work. You can speak life into what you're doing, and it has to respond. I'm talking about when you're growing plants and stuff. You can speak life over yourself, and it has to respond. As long as you're speaking the word, you have to be speaking the word of God. That things only react to the word of God. I mean, look, you can speak something negative over yourself, and it'll happen too. In either case, I would prefer to speak life. These are cilantro plants. I've been trying to keep them from bolting, but they just insist on growing into trees. This is our aloe vera plant. It's what we use to make our skin stuff. Gives me that beautiful glow. We have grapes, and Nikki's so excited about the little grapes. There's a bunch of them in there. But my intentions was to get this thing to vine up, all the way up this thing, all the way down the lights and around, and hit those things and boom, come down there. Well, it's not exactly doing that. What it's wanting to do is it's wanting to reach towards the sun, which is fine. So I put these sticks here so that it has something to grab onto, and they're grabbing onto it. So I think what's going to happen is it's just going to grow this way and continue to reach out. So I'm going to have to figure something out. I might want to put something where it can grow up onto, so the vines can have something to grab onto. We have strawberries. So these are the smallest of the strawberries. I don't talk to these strawberries to prove a point. Just because, you know, they're just there growing. That's what they look like when you grow by themselves, you know. Oh no, it's a Gila monster. Oh my goodness, it's a Gila monster. No, it's a lizard. These are our flowers. They come back. Apparently they come back a lot in abundance. This in here is another purple Cherokee tomato. This is rhubarb, and it's finally taking off inside of here. We got beets in here. This is a trap. This is so the insects can eat that, so I don't mess with that. This is spinach. I don't know what the spinach is doing. I kind of think it's getting ready to seed, which is not what I want it to do, but it's late in the season, so this is our kale tree. It's a tree. My oriental lilies. I can't wait till they start blooming because they smell really good. The banana tree is coming back. And this is our strawberry bed. I don't know if you guys remember the videos from last year, June when I started, or May or June when I started doing the strawberries. I built this box here. I ended up cutting off all the dead stuff in December, and now everything's coming back. And this is the bigger of the strawberries that I have. I speak to these a lot. I come out and pray, talk to these things, come out here and pray over this bush, talk to it. We got a bunch of Meyer lemons growing. As you can see, the little buds there. A couple of them right there. We have some muscadines growing. This plant was dead. As a matter of fact, the depot almost gave this plant to me for free, and I felt bad getting it for free, so I gave them something for it. They said it was dead. I said it wasn't. They said it was. I took it home, and as you can see, the thing is not dead. I should have waited for them to throw it in the trash, but hey, I like to prove a point. These are Mississippi Reds. These are sweet potatoes. We got these from Bailey's in Pensacola. I like Bailey's because they have real food. Because then if you like something, you buy one to eat and you buy one to plant. And that's exactly what I did. So now we're going to have some Mississippi Reds. These are red russet potatoes. I think these were bought from Bailey or from a local farmer. Used them, liked them, we planted them. This is an olive tree that is finally taking off. It's finally doing something. I just like the way it looks, just because who has an olive tree in their yard? I do. Bee balm. I like it for the flowers. It's also a Bonnie plant deal. This is what it's going to look like. It's finally starting to do something. Some more lilies. And y'all, look at my favorite thing of all. This is our peach tree. And it's got 2 peach blossoms on there already. I'm excited about that. I just transplanted it into this pot here about a week ago, and then it just exploded. This right here is our corn. It's the Silver Queen corn. I'm from New Jersey. I like Silver Queen corn because if done correctly, it tastes like candy. So this is what the corn looks like. I remember it looking like this when we were in New Jersey. We lived next to a farm. I think it was Cumberland Farms, right outside of McGuire for space. We lived in Falcon Courts North. Next to Falcon Courts North used to be a farm. Had cows there. This is back in the 70s, 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and they used to plant corn. And we used to go watch the corn grow. and it was Silver Queen corn. Really good corn. This is some more strawberries that are growing. This right here is our Bonnie plant bell peppers, our hot burrito peppers, and these are lunchbox peppers, which is the orange sweet peppers you can eat as a snack. These are all bush beans. This box is different because in this box I planted some of the old wood. That piece of wood right there has been sitting there since we got there, and it's all broken down and dry rotted. So I cut it up with the chainsaw, kind of grinded up some pieces, buried some pieces, one there, one there, one there, and I planted plants on top of them just to see if it will grow, and it's actually doing pretty good. I'm happy with that. And then we'll walk on over to our composter that we built. We built this compost bin in May of last year. And yes, this is where we put all of our salads, stuff that we eat in there. We cut it up, put it there, tumble around. As you can see, it's breaking down really good. All that is like salad. I put some sticks in there too, some oak sticks. I know the sticks aren't going to break down immediately, but I did that to bust up because I put some baffles in here, and it's been in a while, but the sticks help break it up when I turn the composter around. There's a logic behind it. But yeah, just giving everybody an update on how good everything is doing. Everything's growing really well. I was out here praying. I like to come out here and pray in the garden. It just feels right. A garden, me, a man of God, praying in the garden. It just feels right. But yeah. Oh, so this is what I wanted to show you guys. So, Kellogg's potting soil is good for the raised garden bed, but this stuff right here, this is what I've been mixing together. I would buy Suwannee River topsoil. You get it from Home Depot, and it's really cheap, y'all. It's not like $15. For $10, I get enough soil. I get $10 worth of this, $10 worth of this. Sometimes you can catch it on sale. It's like $5 a bag, $5 or $6 a bag for each of these. This is organic compost. You get 40 pounds of that, and then you get the topsoil, Suwannee River, and I mix those two together, and I add a little bit of blood meal and bone meal, and then I'll add a little bit of some of my organic soil from underneath that compost pile, and then I'll mix together some of my soil over there. I'll mix it together in a big container, like here. I put it in here. I gotta get some more. And then mix it together, and I'll put plants in there. Put it in the thing. The black cow I like to use. This black cow manure is what I use to build up the bed for like the collard greens, or I'll use it to amend the soil. When I see that it needs some fertilizer, I'll use that to amend the soil. When I water my plants, I constantly water it. I water it with this here, with the barrel. I'll let it run. I was letting it run at night, but it's starting to get humid, so I quit that, and I've been letting run a couple of hours during the day on the drip line. I'll put fish emulsion there, so it's constantly getting fed something. And it turns out really good, man. A lot of stuff. And then I have my coffee plants. I've got some coffee plants that have been growing for the better part of like 8 months now, when I got those coffee plants. And they seem to like it. They seem to like it inside. They don't like it out here. I mean, the weather out here is not indicative to growing coffee. So what I had to do is research where those coffee plants originated from, what region of the planet, and try to duplicate the environment as close as I can. Well, the closest environment that is inside the house with a special type of light, and it's kept at a constant temperature and humid. There has to be humidity on the leaves, but them plants are growing crazy in there right now. So I'll have some coffee one day. But I'm excited about that. Well, yeah, this is just an update. Figured I'd give everybody something to look at. See what we're doing back here. The neighbors, they're sick and tired of eating collard greens. I'm telling you, the more I cut, the more it grows. It's like we cannot possibly have any more collard greens. I mean, can't you just blanch them and save them for Thanksgiving? That's what they're saying. They're saying cut them up and freeze them for us, and we'll get some around Thanksgiving or around the holidays. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to want some for this weekend, so I'll probably have to go ahead and harvest a small batch. I think a friend of ours is going to want some. I know I'm going to want some for Easter. I want some collard greens. But these things are good, man. But yeah, other than that, everything is still growing. We're still going strong. And we're probably going to expand this a little bit further. I want to build 2 more. I want to make this a whole row going out this way. And possibly another. Anyways, we're going to be expanding this because there's other stuff that we want to grow that people say you can't grow in Florida, and I'm pretty sure you can. I can't wait for these blueberries. I've never grown blueberries before, but I'm excited about them. There's a lot of them too. Look at that strawberry. But yeah, that's just an update. You can talk to your ground. You can talk to the ground that you're working on. I've said it once and I'll say it again. A farmer that does not pray. You show me a farmer that doesn't pray, and I'll show you a farmer that's not successful. Every farmer has to pray at some point. Prayer works, man. You can pray and touch the ground. And I've never met a farmer that wasn't a God-fearing man that did not understand seed time and harvest. I've talked to a lot of farmers out here, and we're all on the same sheet of music. Yeah, you have to pray over your land. And you have to thank God for what you get. And if you don't sow your first fruits, you may not ever have any other fruits. Every farmer out here knows that. Man, I love this place out here. It's awesome. They understand the word. But you guys be blessed.